for joining virtually today. Bridget, if you would please conduct a roll call of the trustees.
Sure. Miss Arrington? Miss Arrington, if you joined, I couldn't hear you. Mr. Clark?
Here.
Dr. Cummings?
Present.
Dr. Cunningham?
Here.
Mr. Griffith?
Here.
Mr. Heidelberg?
Here.
Ms. Hubbard?
Here.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Ogletree?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
Here.
Mr. Rader? Mr. Rader, if you responded, we can hear you.
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Stevenson?
Here.
We're ready.
Thank you, Bridget. And I appreciate all the trustees who are available today, participating in the specially called meeting and making time for the meeting today. The first order of business we have is in the finance and budget area. Trustee Stevenson, if you'd please present the finance and budget regular agenda.
Sure, thank you. We have 5 items on the regular agenda today. There are 2 contracts from Mississippi University for women, a lease amendment from the University of Southern Mississippi, a pre-development agreement from the University of Mississippi, and a purchase agreement from Mississippi Valley State University. I call on Dr. Pierce to discuss the specifics.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a request from the Mississippi University for Women to enter into a new 3-year agreement with Wolters Kluwer Health Incorporated for a 3-year term beginning August 2nd, 2025. This will provide electronic textbooks and education materials for the Associate of Nursing program. The agreement will be funded by student course fees and has a maximum potential cost of $577,000 based on enrollment. The original 2023 agreement was selected through a competitive procurement process and was determined to be the most cost-effective option. The contract may be terminated for breach. Legal staff has reviewed this agreement for compliance with applicable law and finds it to be acceptable, and board staff recommends item number 1 for approval.
You have heard the recommendation from board staff. I move to approve item number 1.
There's been a motion to approve item number 1. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on item number 1? If not, Bridget, if you would please conduct a roll call vote.
Miss Arrington?
Aye.
Clark?
Aye.
Cummings?
Yes.
Dr. Cunningham, if you responded, we couldn't hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Griffith?
Aye.
Mr. Heidelberg?
Aye.
Ms. Hubbard?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Ogletree?
Aye.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Rader?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Dr. Pierce, if you'd please proceed with the second item.
Thank you. Item number 2 is also a request from the Mississippi University for Women to enter into a new 5-year agreement with Technolutions Incorporated beginning July 1, 2025 to provide a student recruitment customer relationship management software program with a total contract amount of $250,000. This will bring the aggregate contract value to $500,000 since 2020. The CRM offers a software as a service-based platform for managing student applications in the admissions process. The agreement will be funded by general fund revenues and may be terminated by mutual agreement. This procurement was selected through an RFP led by the University of Southern Mississippi with the Mississippi Department of Information Technology Services serving as the contracting agent. This agreement may be terminated by mutual agreement. Legal staff has reviewed this agreement for compliance with applicable law and finds it to be acceptable, and board staff recommends approval of item number 2.
You have heard the recommendation from board staff. I move to approve item number 2.
There's been a motion to approve item number 2. Is there a second?
Second.
Been a second. Is there any discussion? If not, Bridget, if you would conduct a roll call vote and all in favor say aye and opposed nay.
responded, I didn't hear you.
Bridget, I
Bridget, we
think you
can't
just,
hear you.
Oh,
you just cut on, so you may want to start again.
okay. Ms. Arrington,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Dr. Cummings,
Aye.
Dr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Griffith,
Aye.
Mr. Heidelberg,
Aye.
Ms. Hubbard,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Ogletree,
Aye.
Mr. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Rader,
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you, Bridget. Dr. Pierce, if you'd proceed with the third item, please.
Item number 3 is a request from the University of Southern Mississippi to approve a lease agreement with the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration for facilities at the Port of Gulfport. The amendment acknowledges NOAA's acceptance of battery storage space and phased occupancy requirements and increases the annual rent amount by $12,000 per month per year for a total of $1.2 million over the term, payable in monthly installments. The lease agreement has a 20-year term with a 15-year period after which NOAA may terminate with 1 year's notice. NOAA may also terminate if the pier improvements are not completed within 24 months. The lease value over the term is up to $32.4 million, exclusive of operating and insurance costs. Legal staff has reviewed this agreement for compliance with applicable law and finds it to be acceptable, and board staff recommends approval of item number 3.
You've heard the recommendation from board staff. I make a motion to approve item number 3.
There's been a motion to approve item number 3. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been a motion and second as to item number 3. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Bridget, if you'd conduct a roll call vote and all in favor say aye and opposed nay.
Yes, sir. Ms. Arrington,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Dr. Cummings,
Aye.
Dr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Griffith,
Aye.
Mr. Heidelberg,
Aye.
excuse me, Ms. Hubbard,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Ogletree,
Aye.
Mr. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Rader,
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you, Bridget. Before proceeding to item number 4, I'd let the record reflect that Trustee Clark will be recused from item number 4. Trustee Clark, you'll be placed into a Zoom waiting room until the discussion of item number 4 is completed, and Bridget will connect you back at that time. Bridget, if you'd let us know when to proceed, and then Dr. Pierce can proceed upon your instruction.
We're ready.
Item number 4 is a request from the University of Mississippi to enter into a contractual services agreement with GS Development Services Central, LLC, also known as Graystar, for pre-construction services related to the development of student housing, dining, and parking facilities. The scope includes a feasibility assessment, environmental testing, title review, survey review, site testing and preparation, including demolition, abatement, and earthwork, infrastructure design and installation, design drawings and specifications, contract budgeting, and consultant work for planning, design, engineering, and construction. The agreement will end upon execution of a future ground lease or by December 31st, 2026, whichever comes first. expects to bring the ground lease for the board's consideration at a future meeting in the coming months. UM's maximum financial exposure in case of termination for this agreement is $13.4 million, based upon an escalating schedule of cost incurred for due diligence during the pre-development phase. may terminate for convenience at any time by payment of the accrued development fee. Graystar was selected through a competitive RFP process and was determined by the university to be the most qualified provider. In order to assist the university and the board to evaluate this proposed project, has retained financial advisors and legal counsel to provide relevant advice and analysis. Given the legal and financial complexity of this project, the board has also contracted with 2 subject matter experts to provide independent analysis to the board as provided in Board Policy 714. The board has retained U3 advisors to provide independent financial and project analysis to the board, and the board has firm of Reed Smith to provide an independent legal analysis to the board. You and Reed Smith have experience with previous P3 projects outside of Mississippi. Both U3 advisors and Reed Smith have reviewed the contract before the board and find the agreement to be within acceptable industry standards. IHL will continue to utilize U3 advisors and Reed Smith to provide independent financial and legal advice to the board as this project moves forward. Legal staff has reviewed this agreement for compliance with applicable law and finds it to be acceptable, and board staff recommends approval for this item.
You have heard the recommendation from board staff. I move to approve item number 4.
Seconded.
Been a motion and second to approve item number 4. Is there any discussion?
President
If not-
Ogletree, I just comment that several of us flew up to Pennsylvania to look at the facility where they're building this equipment. Chancellor Boyce joined us, Greg, myself, Brad, Chad, and John from Ole Miss staff, and I was impressed with the quality of the construction and the quality control that they have within the facility. I think, like any facility, when it's time to pick the fixtures and such, that's something that should be reviewed carefully for long-term maintenance. But I think it's a quality product, and interesting to see how this progresses.
Thank you, Trustee Stevenson, for that report. And I thank you and Trustee Rader and those on the staff and with the University of Mississippi for helping to set that up and for participating in it. Is there any further discussion? All right, if not, there's been a motion and a second. We'll proceed with a roll call vote. All in favor say aye, and any opposed nay. Bridget, if you would conduct the roll call vote.
Ms. Harrington,
Aye.
Dr. Cummings,
Aye.
Dr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Griffith,
Aye.
Mr. Heidelberg,
Aye.
Ms. Hubbard,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Ogletree,
Aye.
Mr. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Rader,
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Bridget, if you would please admit Trustee Clark back into the meeting. And I'd let the record reflect that I'm recusing myself from item number 5. And with Trustee Stevenson will lead the discussion in my absence with Trustee Cunningham's permission, since we had organized it in that manner. And so you had placed me in the Zoom room and reconnect me when appropriate.
Yes, sir. We're ready, Chairman Stevenson.
Thank you. John, please continue.
Item number 5 is a request from Mississippi Valley State University to enter into a new 5-year purchase and supply agreement with BSN Sports LLC from July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2030 for Nike apparel, footwear, and athletic equipment. The total contract cost is $742,000 funded by E&G and designated funds. BSN will serve as Mississippi Valley's exclusive supplier for all athletic apparel and equipment needs. Mississippi Valley can terminate the agreement subject to payment of liquidated damages. BSN Sports was selected through the Mississippi State Department of Finance and Administration's competitive bidding process, in which it was the sole bidder. Legal staff has reviewed this agreement for compliance with applicable law and finds it to be acceptable, and board staff recommends approval of item number 5.
You have heard the recommendation from board staff. Is there a motion to approve item number 5?
So
So
moved.
moved.
We have a
Second,
motion.
second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Cunningham.
Bridget, please conduct a roll call vote.
Ms. Harrington,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Dr. Cummings,
Aye.
Dr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Griffith,
Aye.
Mr. Heidelberg,
Aye.
Ms. Hubbard,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Rader,
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Bridget, would you please readmit Trustee Ogletree?
Yes, sir, we're ready.
Okay, that concludes the finance and budget regular agenda for today.
There are no other items that were designated for the special call meeting other than items that may need to be considered in executive session. Is there a motion to close the meeting to determine the need for an executive session?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion and second to close the meeting to determine the need for an executive session. Is there any discussion? If not, Bridget, if you would conduct a roll call vote and all in favor say aye and all opposed nay.
Yes, sir. Miss Arrington,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Dr. Cummings,
Aye.
Dr. Cunningham,
Aye.
Mr. Griffith,
Aye.
Mr. Heidelberg,
Aye.
Miss Hubbard,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Ogletree,
Aye.
Mr. Parker,
Aye.
Mr. Rader,
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Bridget. Anyone not needed for executive session should leave the room or disconnect if you are connected electronically. Visitors are welcome to wait in the lobby if you're physically present. Trustees, please give us a minute to make sure the appropriate participants are connected. Thank you. Bridget, if you would